Ukraine just landed one of its most powerful blows yet, taking out 5% of Russia's oil refining capacity with a single drone strike. This move has sent shockwaves through Russia's military, crippling a vital part of their fuel supply. But there's more to this story than just this strategic strike. What if I told you that this might be part of a much bigger plan, one involving the very leader of Russia, Vladimir Putin? Recent claims from well-known figures like journalist Tucker Carlson suggest that the West might have considered taking out Putin, with some even suggesting that Ukrainian forces could be involved. Could there be truth to these claims? Before we dive deeper, make sure to hit that like button if you're following this shocking turn of events. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this developing situation. The daring drone attacks, Ukraine's tactical shift. On the night of January 28th, or in the early hours of January 29th, Ukrainian drones struck a significant blow to Russia's Nizhny Novgorod oil refinery in Stovo. It is located deep in central Russia, about 520 miles from the front lines in Ukraine. This strike was part of a broader, coordinated operation that saw drones attacking several Russian cities, including Tver, Bryansk, and Smolensk. While each attack caused fires and triggered responses from Russian air defenses, it was the strike on Sovo's oil refinery that stood out in terms of its effectiveness and impact. Now, why is this refinery so important? Well, it's owned by Lukoil, one of Russia's largest and wealthiest oil companies, bringing in over $128 billion in revenue in 2021 alone. This isn't the first time Ukraine has targeted key Russian infrastructure. Last year, they struck the Novoshakhtinsk refinery in southern Russia, causing a massive fire and costing Russia millions. These attacks are directly affecting Russia's finances and military capabilities, as energy accounts for roughly 60% of their budget. But the story doesn't end there. While Ukraine is delivering these devastating blows, there are also whispers of a much more daring move. Could the West be plotting something much bigger? Something involving the Russian president himself? One of the most controversial and shocking claims has surfaced during the ongoing conflict, suggesting the West plans to kill Russian President Vladimir Putin. This sounds like a plot from a spy novel, but the accusation has caught people's attention after comments from Tucker Carlson, a well-known American journalist. Carlson claimed that Antony Blinken, the former U.S. Secretary of State, was one of the main proponents of this idea. According to Carlson, this was a strategy to weaken Russia by eliminating its leader. Now, U.S. officials have shot down these claims, calling them false and irresponsible. But here's the thing. The U.S. has a history of extreme actions when it comes to global conflicts. Remember the Northwoods Plan in the 1960s, where the U.S. military actually proposed staging terrorist attacks to justify invading Cuba? And in 2020, the U.S. took out Iranian General Qasem Soleimani in a targeted strike. There is no solid proof that the United States plans to eliminate Putin at this time, but the tense situation in Ukraine makes it difficult to dismiss such a scenario completely. The idea of such an operation certainly fits into the larger geopolitical context of the West trying to weaken Russia and end the war in Ukraine. If there is indeed a plot to remove Putin, one of the most talked about possibilities is Ukraine's involvement in carrying out the attack. After all, Ukraine is already heavily engaged in military actions against Russia and has proven capable of striking deep within Russian territory with its drone attacks. In the past, Ukrainian officials have openly stated that they consider themselves at war with Putin's regime and that they have the right to defend themselves by any means necessary. Recently, some analysts have even suggested that Ukraine's intelligence services could be used as the executor of such a plot. Given their track record with daring strikes on Russian infrastructure, it wouldn't be a huge leap to think that they might be involved in something much more extreme. Of course, Ukrainian officials have denied any involvement in assassination plots. Still, as the war escalates and the pressure on both sides grows, the lines between military objectives and covert operations can blur. The Ukrainian government is determined that their priority is to defend their country. But in a time of desperation, could they take extreme measures? Don't worry, we will find out in the near future. Now, let's talk about how Russia is responding to these growing threats. If there's one thing we know about Putin's regime, it's that security is always a top priority. But as the rumors circulate and tensions rise, the Kremlin is more vigilant than ever, ensuring that their president stays protected. And Russian security forces under the leadership of Dmitry Peskov continue their full-scale mission to safeguard President Putin, according to his spokesperson. The actual danger against Putin emerges from beyond Russian borders as the geopolitical landscape poses a threat to his position. Western officials who represent US and NATO countries have shown their discontent about Putin's leadership during the Ukraine conflict. What does this mean for the war and the world? If the assassination plot against Putin were to unfold, it would have major ramifications for the war in Ukraine and the entire world. Russia would almost certainly respond with force, possibly escalating the war to even more devastating levels. It would create unanticipated results for Ukraine's future conflict situation, as well as Russia's international diplomatic ties. A global power shift could occur if such an assassination killed Putin from his position as leader. The West would likely view such a development positively, because it would reduce Russian control in Eastern Europe while reshaping Ukraine's war situation. For countries that oppose the US and NATO's influence, an assassination could be seen as a signal that the West is willing to go to any lengths to achieve its goals. This could lead to a surge in anti-Western sentiment and the potential for greater geopolitical conflicts. The idea of an assassination plot against Putin is far from a mere rumor. It's a serious topic that is being discussed by influential figures around the world. While there's no concrete proof that such a plot is actively underway, the growing speculation, combined with Ukraine's successful military operations inside Russia, suggests that this is a very real concern for the Russian government. So, what's next? Will the West take even stronger steps to target Putin? And how will these threats affect Ukraine, Russia, and the rest of the world? These are big questions, and we're just getting started. If this video got you thinking, don't forget to subscribe for more. We'll keep breaking down the key moments and strategies shaping this crisis. Stay tuned, and we'll keep you updated on what happens next.